What's up, guys? East Coast Trev here. Before we kick off this great podcast with Mr. Brady from Pheasant Run Ranch in Kansas, I just want to talk shop with you really quick and let you guys know what's going on with the Outdoor Drive. We've been on the road. We've been at shows. We've been talking to all these people. We've had some really great podcasts. If you guys missed out on them, go back and listen to them. I don't want you guys to miss out on this good stuff. But in the meantime, we've revamped and built a new website from our good buddy Christian Costa over at Dirt Road Agency. He's done a phenomenal job in building it. Go and check that out. While you're there, hit that merch tab. Steven's done a great job in building new logos. We have some turkey logos, the Outdoor Drive turkey logos on some t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts. We have the regular stuff, just the Outdoor Drive logo on some really good merch also. We're going to be building merch as the month unveils here for you guys. So go and check that stuff out. I want you, before you guys leave that website, scroll all the way down the bottom. There is a mailing list, like an email mailing list. So get your email in there, sign up for that so you guys can keep more intimately in touch with us here at the Outdoor Drive Podcast so that we can send you what's going on, special promotional codes, different things that we release, and so on and so forth, just so you guys know what's going on in the world of the Outdoor Drive Podcast. Other than just the podcast, we want to make that family connection with you guys because you guys are family to us. So go on and do that. We're not going to sell it to nobody, I promise. When your email comes to us, it's safe with us, I promise you. So just get on there and do that for us. It just we want to make a more family surrounding so you guys know what's really going on with us in our world. To conclude with that and move on to the next thing I want to talk to you guys with, Nor'easter Game Calls has just finally broke into the latex world, the mouth calls, right? Mark has been doing a phenomenal job up there. We've been working back and forth. We have 3 cuts on our turkey calls. They are ready for opening day. They are up on the website. We have a batwing, a shipwreck, and just a regular V-cut. A great call. There's 2 different series. There's the Cheating Hen, and I think it's the Widowmaker. I'm not really sure exactly what it is. Honestly, I kind of forgot. But go and check that out. If you guys are on our social media, I'm going to be posting up some videos of me using these calls so you guys can hear them, have some sound files, and know what you guys are buying. So get on over there, check that out, get on the social media, get on the mailing list, get on the website, maybe check out a new piece of merch, grab a sticker, so on and so forth. We really appreciate everything that you guys do for us here at the Outdoor Drive Podcast. Your support is just breathtaking. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much. Let's get on with the show. Enough of me talking. Let's go check out Brady.
Outdoor Drive Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Outdoor Drive Podcast. This is your boy East Coast Trev, actually still down at the Iowa Deer Classic on day 3. Really looking forward to it. Kind of slow today, but got to meet a friend from a mutual friend, good friend Brady. How are you, man?
Doing good. About yourself?
Oh, just hanging in there. It's a beautiful day, not too hungover. It's
Likewise.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's not raining today. There's no tornadoes. We don't have to worry about none of that stuff. Where I come from, there's not many tornadoes, so it was a little...
You can always tell there's a storm coming in the Midwest because the beer cart line got a little longer.
Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Everyone gets a little nervous?
The tornado warnings went off on the phone, and rather than seeking shelter, they were seeking a cold one,
They said if they're going drinking,
yeah,
right?
It's like it must be the Midwest vibes. They have to have a beer to watch the storm roll in.
There's really nothing wrong with that, though. I guess,
No.
I mean, if you're going to go, you might as well be drunk.
Yeah. We're from Kansas, so we're just like, this is a Tuesday.
Is that normal? Is that a normal thing?
Yeah, we had like a windstorm clear back in December that we had like 100-mile-an-hour winds, no rain, no anything. And in fact, we were joking, we haven't had rain so long in our country that we walked outside, we're like, this is what rain looks like. This is water coming from the sky. Like, we have mud on our boots, So
That's crazy.
Anyway.
And you need it, though, from where you're from, though.
Yeah, we're typically pretty dry. It's pretty normal to only get, 20 inches or so a year, kind of similar to Devon's up there. But it's been way dry. No snow, no anything. So a little nervous.
That's crazy. Well, why don't we turn this key, man? Let's get this thing underway. Why don't you tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Yeah, so my name's Brady Burks. I'm the owner of Pheasant Run Ranch. We're upland deer, turkey, hunting lodge in north central Kansas. And just down here at the Iowa Deer Classic, trying to showcase more or less our deer hunting. You
Right.
know, our turkey hunting and our upland bird hunting is pretty good at this point, but we really could take more deer hunters, and that's what we're trying to do is network, hanging out. So
That's awesome. So when did Pheasant Run start?
So actually, it was established in 2008, and I didn't come up there. I wasn't up there from the very beginning in 2008. I actually, long story, but came up here to manage the ranch from a previous owner, and I managed it for 3 or 4 years, and then they decided to sell it, or asked if my wife and I wanted to buy it. We were the managers, and they had another ranch they were looking at and gave us the opportunity to buy it, and so we took over, and I think this will be like our 4th hunting season as ownership. So
Wow, that's
been
cool.
up there almost 6 years now in that country in north central Kansas. I'm originally from the east side of the state, the part of the state of Kansas that looks like a graham cracker that had a bite taken out of it, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, my wife's from the west side of the state, so we live right in the middle. We're 3 hours either way to our hometowns, but you know, kind of we bought it, and actually at the show, a guy was like, you know, who owns it? Because I sound like I'm 12. I got a high-pitched voice, and I look like the youngest guy in the booth, and they're like, oh, you the owner? And they all pointed to me. They're like, he owns it. And the guy goes, somebody die?
Come on,
like,
did they really?
Yeah, he's like, somebody die? You inherit it? And I was like, no. And he's like, you can be honest, man. And I was like, no, I bought it. And the booth next to us was like, you're only 28 and you own this ranch in Kansas. And anyway, all that to say is we bought it because I said I'd rather buy it and fail now and be able to do something else if it doesn't work out than be 40 and say, man, what if?
Right.
You know?
So you were what, 22 years old when this all started?
Yeah, when I came up to originally manage the ranch, Pheasant Run Ranch, it was privately owned, obviously, and they guided a few hunts and things. But I was actually, there was like an intern out of K-State is how I kind of got the job. And so, yeah, I was just a pup. They gave me a long leash. They were, I can, on their behalf, I mean, they put a lot of trust in me at a young kid like that. I mean, because there is no supervision out there. You are your own boss.
That's
know?
crazy.
So, and now I'm definitely my own boss.
Right. So what did you have to do to manage it to get it to where it is today?
Yeah, I mean, just hard work. I mean, our operation's so diverse because we are an actual, there's some people that, name any ranch, hunting ranch X, and they are just the hunting, the outfitting. But we are a legitimate ranch. We've got cows, we've got, cropland, that we...
so it's a working farm and a hunting lodge.
And the hunting lodge, yeah. So when you say get it to where it is today, to be honest, we're not anything special. I wouldn't say like where it is today, like, I'm still traveling. I want to get it somewhere else, But mostly it's just hard work and a lot of prayer. I mean, like I'll be honest, there's days that it's hard. It was a lot more fun as a manager when you didn't own it than it is owning it.
Well, when you lose it, that's it. It's over.
Yeah.
There's no just you got to check on Friday and you just kept moving along. There is none of that.
Yeah.
You have to just keep on chugging along and keep going.
Yeah. We were talking last night when we were out. Everybody watches Yellowstone. You probably watch Yellowstone,
Yeah,
or
absolutely,
1883.
yeah.
And we were talking. I said, I watched that, and there's a lot of people watching at home and just for what it is. And I said, I think too much. And I said, I watched that, and it like resonates with me. And not like, oh, someone's trying to take my land, but I mean, it is like it's a battle every day, like to
Keep it afloat.
Yeah, like, and I'm not like playing my tiny violin, but I mean, you see people all the time on the internet talking about fuel prices and grocery prices and all this stuff. Like part of being at the show, it's like we have to do all these things in order, oh man, you're 28 and own a ranch, that's cool, yada yada. It's like, we have to do all these things in order to continue to do all these things.
That's one of those things, and we talk about that a lot, is that, it must be nice. People say to you, it must be nice. Yeah, it must be nice. It must be nice to work your ass off every single day, to grind, to even put food on the table. And it's not the greatest meal in the world, but it's on there. And that in a drop of a hat, you can lose everything that you work for.
Yep. And that's to say, I don't want to get on this podcast and be like, poor me. Like,
yeah, right. Of course.
Oh, man, like, I have to go to this trade show, book hunts, or I'm not going to eat. I got to go home and tell my wife, like, we got to fold up the doors. Like, it's not that. But
it's a struggle. It's a grind.
But just like I say, the trade show, Instagram, Facebook, oh, you're 28 on a ranch. Oh, man, your truck, it's like, you don't see, you're only seeing the highlight reel. You don't know, there's days you come home and you're just like, man, I don't know. what's going to happen.
I think that's with a lot of things, like being a fisherman, and everybody would be like, "Oh man, you catch the biggest fish ever." Well, we fished 7 days to catch that one fish, or whatever the case may be, and that's the same for you, man. It's even the big deer hunting, and you just have 1,000,001 pictures of big deer and stuff.
Yeah.
So what exactly does Pheasant Run do? Because it's not just deer hunting, right?
Correct. Yep. So our hashtag under our logo, it says Hunting and Cattle Co. And we are that. So we try to say that everything we do has to benefit. It can't be at the demise of something else. So, for instance, we're big Upland Bird Hunting Lodge. Mm-hmm. We own almost 1,000 acres, and then we lease more, but a lot of that is native grass CRP. And people will say, well, why don't you just graze all that and run 100 mama cows, or 200 mama cows? It's like, well, if we did that, we wouldn't have grass to bird hunt. And then other people are like, well, why don't you just, let it all grow and bird hunt everything? It's like, well, if we did that, then we wouldn't have anything for cows. So everything, there has to be a balance in everything that we do. We were talking, another gentleman at the show here about next year's farming plan. It's like I got winter wheat and I got milo. When we harvest the milo, it leaves a lot of residue that I can graze that for cattle. I can hunt it. It's good for the birds. I can put some of that milo in the bin and feed birds, fill my deer feeders, things like that with your own. I don't have to go buy a $50 bag of deer corn, So
being self-efficient.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I tell everybody is we're diverse and everything has to play off one another. We raise hay, we raise, the typical corn, beans, wheat, milo, farm stuff that you see out the window driving down the road. But different than Iowa, driving down the road in Iowa, it's like corn and beans to the fence row. And in our neck of the woods, we've got farm and then 30-foot native grass buffer strips. We're not trying to farm every acre and things like that. So
because you're trying to use it for other things also.
Yeah.
Now, Kansas, they have their own sustained population of birds, or do you do a lot of stocking or something? Because where I come from, everything is stocked. There is no natural birds.
Yep. So everyone's asked us that here today. They're like, well, we don't have to go pheasant hunting because we can do that down the road, stock pond. We do both. We have a controlled shooting area where you can do that. A lot of guys, bachelor parties, corporate groups. Like one guy picked up a pamphlet. He's like, can I shoot 100 birds? We're like, you bet. We have that for that. And then we've got stuff that we own and manage, and we leave food plots standing. When I go home, if we actually have a rain, I got to burn native grass and plant wildflowers, things like that. So we can offer both to people.
Because a lot of guys are doing it for the experience to bring their own dogs or to hunt a different state. Because, a lot of people, I think they maybe not take for granted, but overlook the fact that, guys will go to different states to hunt whitetails. But it's the same with upland birds. Yeah. People go to hunt North Dakota, South Dakota, Kansas.
Oh, absolutely.
They hunt all over just to hunt the upland birds. Upland bird is a big thing.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. They... like I say, there's just two different types of people, and we have everything for both of them. So there's guys that want to bring their own dogs. I call them the traditionalist or the purist. Mm-hmm. We want to walk all day and kill one bird, but we don't care. Enjoy the outdoors. Yeah, we just want to say that we hunted a wild bird and that's it. And like I say, you got the other guys that's we want to be done by 8:30 and drinking beer by 8:31. And so. And I like them both. I like both groups that come through our doors, and I can't tell you I got one or the other, but we offer both in that regards.
That's that's the recurve guys and then the crossbows, right?
Yeah.
That's
just every. What's so funny is every sport has its own. I don't want to say drama or click, but yeah, even at this show, oh, did you shoot that deer with a crossbow? It's you shot that bird. Was it on a controlled shooting area? Oh, well, my dog's only on wild birds, and
right.
My dog's broke on preserve bird. And yeah, it's funny how it's not funny actually. If we're being honest, the sport needs less of that if it's gonna for the better, but it is kind of the same,
But for guys like us who are. That's how we make a living, right? So with you guiding and stuff, you don't care who comes there. Whether you're a recurve guy or a traditionalist or you're not, and you just want to shoot a bunch of birds. And it's the same with me being kind of in the taxidermy world. Is I don't care how you shot it. You could shoot it with a grenade if you want to.
Yeah.
It's still money coming in, so you don't care. You just whatever you want to do, man.
Absolutely.
So turkey season coming up. How's the turkey hunting in Kansas?
It is awesome.
Really?
It is. I feel like it's like a little sleeper state. So we're in our part of Kansas. You can shoot almost primarily Rios. We've got some Easterns, we've got some hybrids, but we've got Rios, and we got a full body turkey up there in the booth that people stop by and like, oh man, you got Merriam's? Like, no, it's a Rio. Like it's not a Merriam's, but oh man, it's great. And one guy was watching. So again, backing up, when I said I was from the east side of the state, Missouri River coming down. You got the bluffs. In the morning, you wake up turkey hunting, and I mean, there's just they're ringing out. I mean,
Right.
And I've never hunted Kentucky or Tennessee or like the South, but I would probably compare it to that. And then you move out to north central Kansas, and you're like, there are no trees out here. There is nothing out here. There is no turkeys out here. Like, there's no way. But they're everywhere. And it's almost, we call them pasture birds. Like, I mean, they roost in trees. I don't want to say it makes it easier, but it's there's only so many trees. So
Well, you start calling and they just show up out of nowhere.
I wish it was that easy, but yeah, I mean you just got your honey holes and there's not very many trees not for them to go, but it's a different type of hunting because, like I say, some of them we call them pasture birds. I mean, they'll fly down from the roost and go out in the middle of a pasture, and it's like there's no way to get to that bird. If he's henned up, like so.
So what do you do? A lot of reaping, or how do you?
We do that. But I mean, just like everybody else, call them in. In Kansas, you can hunt all day. So honestly, some guys, I'll tell them sleep in, and we'll go out in the afternoon and just go get one fired up. I like to walk what little creek bottoms we have with like a crow call and get one fired up, and then just sit down.
And then just let them come on, coming in.
Yep, that's what I like to do the best, honestly.
And so that late morning, you made a very valid point, and everybody talks about it, that 10 to 2, right? Which is like they leave them hens, things get all kind of crazy, you get on in there, you crack them off, and then it's game on. They come in, I think, I know for us on the eastern birds, if you don't get them off the roost, you might as well just pack it up, go home,
eat breakfast,
and then come back in, and then you're going to tear them up.
Yep.
I mean, it's probably got to be tough guiding because guys want to be out there hunting from sun up to sundown.
Yeah, and the turkey season, honestly, talking about all the things that we guide, whitetail, upland bird, everything, turkey season for me is the most fun thing that I guide. When people say like, oh, you get to hunt for a living or guide for a living, like it's still work. It's 100% work. But so I don't want to say that not every day's fun, but it's work.
Right.
But turkey hunting is fun. Because when somebody shoots a turkey, I mean, they just light up. It's almost like shooting a 200-inch deer sometimes. Man, I lost my train of thought.
No, but you're a little bit more involved into the turkey hunting also.
What I'm saying though is like during turkey season, we're also like calving. It's spring planting time. So you talk about guys want to hunt all day. We start our day earlier. Like this last year during turkey season, we were calving. So I wake up even earlier than you would as a guide to go check cattle, feed cattle, then go up, get guys up, go turkey hunt. And then, like you said, in your head, if you're just hunting with your buddies, you're like, oh, we'll just pack it in, go home, eat breakfast. I can go do other stuff.
Right.
But guys want to get their money's worth. So you're hunt. Kansas can hunt all day long. And then you come back and you got to feed your dogs in the dog kennel because I got dogs, cows, all that stuff, and it gets dark later, and they are the longest days. I mean, so it's tough.
I couldn't imagine me being a hardcore turkey hunter. When I tell it to everybody, that is the most tiring season because you're up at the ass crack of dawn. You hunt all or most of the day, right?
Yeah.
And then you're trying to roost birds and trying to get on them for that night. So then it's 9, 10 o'clock, and then you do it again. But for someone like you that has a million other chores to do around the farm, forget it.
Yep. On lunch, you're trying to squeeze in something during lunch. You get cows that get out and things. This last hunting season, I sold a bunch of cows because the prior hunting season I brought in some cows and things and I just told my wife, I said I'm working way too hard on these cattle and I need to double down and really focus on the hunting because we're trying to do it all. And I've got a kid now, best thing ever. But it's like I don't want to be working that hard this young.
So how many head of cattle do you have on the ranch?
So right now we've just got a few mama cows. Like it fluctuates. Sometimes we'll buy some heifers and bring them in and develop them and breed them and sell them back. Sometimes we got steers. So at any given time there might be 100, 150. Right now there's just like 30 mama cows, spring cows. So
what do you use them all for? They're beef cows, or
yeah, some of them we have our own private label beef company as well. So we've got some steers on feed that we'll process, and order beef from us, and we ship it anywhere in the lower 48.
Jeez.
But again, I'm backing off some of that and stepping on the brakes on some of that because I have been, overworked in some areas.
So I don't want to. I mean, obviously, whatever. I don't really want to dive into it too much. But what is somewhere that somebody could go to do that if they were interested in getting some type of beef from you?
Yeah, you can just get on our website. We just started a new website, took down our old one and put up a new one, and you just hit the contact us. And again, prior to that, we have
It's
friends
through Pheasant Run Ranch.
PheasantRunRanch.net. Yep, you'll find us.
So once you go in there, then you can get the beef in there.
There's a ranch tab, and you'll click on ranch and go down and click on Akaushi beef. So even further.
Oh, it's Akaushi.
Akaushi. It's a breed of Wagyu. It's a red version. So even more than just beef, it's the
expensive stuff.
I guess you could say that.
Last night, funny. So everybody knows I met you through Devin. So you guys all know who Devin is. He's the one that Ruby came from, but. We ended up going out to dinner last night, and they had that steak, and it was $35 an ounce.
Yeah.
And it was a minimum of 4 ounces, and Devin was like, I want it so bad. But it's so expensive.
I was texting him last night. I was like, you guys coming out? He's like, I don't know, man. We just dropped like a bunch of money at this restaurant, and I didn't say much about it till this morning, and he was telling me like, oh, we had like Wagyu, $100 an ounce, whatever. And I was like, look, man, if you were going to spend that kind of money, you could just give me that, and I'd send you a whole freezer.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, dang. Or give me that restaurant's business card. I don't know where they're at, but if you're listening out there, I want your business card.
Yeah, exactly.
I will send you, if you're selling it for that much, I will send you our beef. So
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, I was giving him crap. I was like, dude, I would give you a whole freezer for what you guys spent last night at one restaurant. So anyway.
But you know what? You do those things. I mean, like yourself, we were talking on the walk down to where we're podcasting, is you're here for the enjoyment and have a good time. And so if you go out and you have a good meal or you drink one too many beers, that's okay, man. You're with your friends and you're doing what you love. So it's okay to do those things, I think.
Like we were talking on the way down, it's not like going to a casino. I don't gamble or anything, but some guys who go to casinos, they say like, well, oh man, you spend $100 at the casino or $1,000, and some people say, well, that's just the cost of having fun. And so we were talking, what's your booth cost? Did you book enough hunts to cover for your booth, cover your fuel, cover your food if you went and had, steak? I'm a tight ass, so like I brought some of our beef and stuff and cooked in the Airbnb for these dudes. I kid you not, a booth next to us was like, what'd you guys eat last night? We're like, oh, Wagyu fillets. And they're like, get out. I'm like, yeah, in our Airbnb. What? He goes, I'm like, yeah, I brought him from home. Like, I was tight ass. I wasn't trying to go out and spend a bunch of money.
I'd rather have that than go out and have processed food or whatever, something that's not the greatest.
Yeah, but all in all, what I'm getting at is if I go home and I sit down and you're like, dang, you spent this much money to be in Des Moines. At the end of the day, I'm just chalking it up as like that's the cost. I was willing to spend that much to have a good time and network and do stuff like this.
Right.
Like you can't put a price on networking and again, if I don't book any hunts, like I got to see Devin and some of these guys I haven't seen 6-7 years,
right.
and other booths and stuff. Somebody's like, oh, Brady, and it's like, man, I haven't seen you in forever. It seems like yesterday, but it's been 8-10 years, and it feels good. So
Absolutely. Hey, talking about beef, let's get into the meat and potatoes here. I want to talk about the deer hunting in Kansas because it's something that's kind of been on my radar is Kansas deer hunting, dude. It's been something. It was back in the day was like the talk of it, right? Was like that was the state to go was Kansas.
Oh yeah.
And then it was Pike County, Illinois, and then now it's Iowa and Ohio's starting to really punch on in there. Take us through how your camp is run with the deer hunting side.
Yeah, so our deer hunting, again, primary business is upland bird hunting. But in some of our leases and in some of the ground that we get, so, I have a farmer approached me last year, leased his ground. He's got some really good upland bird hunting, but the other half of it, you're really not going to upland bird hunt it, really good deer hunting. So that's kind of why we're here trying to book deer hunts, because we do have incredible deer hunting opportunities. Everything at our camp is private. You talk about these other states and things. Our goal with our camp, I guess our overall mission, is we want to kill like those 180, 200-inch deer. Our minimums, if you have a 140-inch 8-pointer, that's a good deer. But I'm not out to run 100 or 200 hunters through my camp. I really want to take 5 to 10 guys a year and be done, and all I'm doing is just kind of covering that lease. Like I got this ground that I'm not using. I don't say I'm not using it, but it's prime deer hunting, and I'm just why not, And so we had somebody who's like, well, what's your success rate? Or, how many guys hunted with you last year? And I was like, I had 3 guys hunt with me last year. And their eyes get as big as saucers, like, oh, like they're scared of that. It's like, no, but all 3 of them had opportunities. Like 2 of the 3 killed, and the one guy missed, and the one he missed is 187, giant,
Right, of course.
And so that's I guess, kind of how my camp is run. Our lodge is private to your party. And yeah, I mean, because we are farming and ranching, I mean, it's like you're scouting all the time. So, we got alfalfa, we're putting up hay and stuff. You get toward later, August, September, it's like they come out on the field like ants, and it's so awesome. I love to just drive around and look at stuff and kind of take it in because I'm working so hard I forget what I'm working for.
Right.
But yeah, that's like when we were talking, maybe I'm rambling too much, but I guess that's kind of how our camp is run. It's we want to run less hunters, shoot, 160-inch deer better, and hopefully get 5 to 10 guys that come every year, and we'll work our asses off to manage the deer so that we can shoot. Talking about why some of these states, it's first it's Pike County, then it's Iowa, then it's this. I think it's because they flock there and they just like decimate it, and then it's like on to the next one. So I don't know. I'm not dogging anybody else's business, but I think that happens.
But I think it's important that you run a camp like that. And in all honesty, because there's a lot of guys out there that want that one-on-one thing. And I was talking to a good buddy of mine who has a little outfitting business in Illinois, Austin Chandler, and his thing is he doesn't take that many guys in there, and he may have 10 guys, and 7 of them are successful, but the deer that they're shooting are caliber deer. They're mature deer, big mature deer, and that's what you want. You want that, man, and you don't want the commercialized customers that just want to come and shoot a deer. If you want to come and do that, there's other places to do that. You are specifically trying to target big, mature whitetails.
Oh, yeah.
And that's important.
Yeah.
And I would rather pay double the money to go there for that experience and eat that tag, but know that deer that I shoot could be that once-in-a-lifetime deer that I'm going to shoot.
Yeah, and that's why I say if I'm wanting to find a quality group of guys that, like in our pamphlet, and I don't ever maybe I've said it on the podcast, but I try not to ever say clients. So everybody who comes to hunt with us, whether it's upland bird, dove, I don't care if they're just booking an Airbnb, like they're a guest. And then we were talking about turkey hunting here. I got a guy coming to hunt over Easter weekend. I'm not even going to be there. I got other obligations. But he's been so many times, I can just like hand him the keys to the farm and be like, good luck, and I know he's not going to disrespect anything, get me in trouble, and it's like, I want that with my whitetail hunters. Like you said, a guy comes, eats a tag sandwich, but he's like, that's okay. August, I'm texting him pictures. Hey man, we're going to get this deer next year. Hey man, he put on 20 inches, 30 inches, that's what I want, is like that family.
You want a family community to be running through your camp.
Yeah, just like that.
But you want that, though, in all honesty, because, I've been in camps before and gone to outfitters and stuff, and they're all great. I've been in some really, really fun outfitters, but you want that. That's the feel that you want. You want to be there, like, and I went and hunted with a good friend of mine, Bow and Bridle, up in upstate New York. He has a high fence preserve, and then he has a wild side. And I went there for the experience, just to do it, to see what it was like. Like, how can I talk to somebody and talk down on preserve hunting or high fence hunting if I've never done it? Mm-hmm. Because you can't, man. You have to experience. So I went there, and Steve is one of the best guys I have ever spent in deer camp. He come in, he ate dinner with us every single night. We told stories. He hunted by our side. I mean, it was like being with a good buddy in hunting camp. And that's one good thing about the hunting community also, is we have something that's relatable. I just mentioned today, but I feel like we've been friends for 20 years. You get to talk forever. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like you have that passion and that drive, and that's what you put back into your camp.
Yep. That's what going back to the style hunting, that's what we want it to be. Is I have a Chevy Suburban. It's like an 01 Suburban to my guide rig, but I don't want 3 or 4 strangers in that and me driving them around. I'd rather have 3 or 4 guys that came together, they want to hunt together, and they come back every year,
And a lot of people, I don't think that they understand they might get a little bit cheaper of a hunt to go with somebody different, right? But they don't understand, like bear camp. Bear camp is one of those things that I kind of, you can see and you can picture it as that. They go up there, they got 25 guys. They got 25 bait sets, and they drive in, they drop the guy off at the one bait, and then they drop the next guy at the bait, and then they drop, and then they come back and they pick them up.
Yeah.
That's not hunting camp to me.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know. I'm just weird about it, I guess.
Well, even like talking about our pheasant hunts, we've had some guys, not necessarily at this show, and again, we offer both, so I'm not turning anybody away from this. We can, we have the CSA shoot 100 birds, and we have the the wild side. But even in the type of hunters, we've recently had some people who hunt South Dakota, and they're like, man, we want to hunt Kansas. We want to hunt. My lodge only sleeps 8. I say only, but it's what it is. So you got to have a minimum party of 4 because we don't have multiple parties into the time. And guys have gotten burned out on that at other lodges. They go to $4 million lodge, but they're riding a school bus with other dudes, and
it's very commercialized.
Yeah. And I'm not saying, again, I'm not dogging on that, because maybe one day, I don't know, like if I were to build a new lodge, it's like, well, if you build a new lodge, you might have to do that,
right,
but,
to make the money.
Yeah, but anyway, that's not on my radar. But anybody listening, that's like, oh man, he's building a new lodge. Buckle up. So anyway,
it happens though. But if that's what some people, that's how they run their camp, man. And if that's what they enjoy, that's what they enjoy, man. It is what it is.
Yeah. But anyway,
what I do want to ask you, what is one of the craziest guided stories that you've ever had with crazy things that happened to you? Because I know,
man,
being a fishing guide myself, I know that there's something out there that's like wild.
So you're gonna hear it here first, folks, on the podcast. My dad always said, like, you should write a book, because I'm gonna tell you a long-winded story to answer this question. That's just how I am. But my dad wants me to write a book because I've got kids that shot their first pheasant. I've guided at other places where this dude was like, I don't think he's 90, but he was an older gentleman, father, son, and just heartfelt stories, write a book. And I said, if I write a book, the first book I'm going to drop is going to be #GuideLife. And all it is going to be is just the craziest shit that I've seen and my buddies have seen. And I have got some stories, and unfortunately, like, I don't even know what would be the best one. And I hate to dog guys I'm not dogging guys that hunt me. And obviously you weed them out anyway.
Right, of course. They don't come back to camp.
Yeah. But I've had everything from, well, this isn't my story. I'll tell you 2. But I had one just this year, semi-automatic shotgun. Give the safety speech all the time, all about safety, folks. But give the safety talk and things, and good thing I did. I mean, this kid loaded a semi-automatic shotgun, hit the button, and it, but when it went up, bang, went off, and we're all standing around the truck, and I'm just like, man, I'm glad I have a life insurance policy. Like,
jeez.
But
was it that type of gun that made it go off?
It was the gun. Yeah, it was not the individual. Like, it was nothing to that hunting group, not dogging them whatsoever, but I was like, stuff like that. That just happens, and you don't see that stuff every day,
no.
Obviously. And even like I could tell if I rattled off 5 or 6 stories, this would be like over a 12-year period that I've seen this stuff. It wasn't like all last year, and guys at home listening, like, shoot, I am not hunting there.
Right, exactly.
But, no, I've heard stories. One of the guys that's guided for me, they're hunting along, and everyone always talks about, and the upland bird, especially on these corporate hunts and stuff, they come in new boots, new guns, things like that. Have to put the gun together in the morning. They're hunting along. Guy steps over to the side. You on upland bird hunting, for people who've not done a lot of it, you typically push to a block, and then you reset the block with a truck or ranger or whatever, or you walk farther ahead. And you need to unload your gun while you're resetting the block, just to be safe. Like if you're going to get in a vehicle or do whatever, like talking about school buses in South Dakota. This guy, they push to the block, kind of steps over the side away from everybody. Boom, boom, boom. Shoots 3 times. Everyone's kind of like, whoa. Covey a quail get up, something? Guy's like, no. Kind of brush it off and do it again. Reloads his gun. They make a push, get to the end, go to get in the truck. Guy steps over the side. Boom, boom, boom. And so this time the guide walks over and he's like, man, like, what's your condition? What's your deal, man? Oh, I don't know how to unload my gun. Like, I just got this thing. So he's like, we've been hunting now for like 3 hours, and this dude is unloading his gun by shooting it. I mean, like I said, I want to write a book or something. Just
Well,
all
it could have
these
been worse.
crazy
He could have just brought it in the side by side and had it loaded,
yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah. But yeah, probably like I said, the most recent crazy, like I say, that kid's gun that just went off with, and
that's a scary thing.
It's a scary thing. And in the upland bird hunting community, it's not funny, but guides will make light of it, like, oh yeah, it's nothing to be pushed into a block and get shot at, or we joke about it, but really everyone's outfit is usually safe. But that's always like yeah, I got shot last week, bro. Oh yeah, really? My dog got shot. It's like, know how
exactly.
it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's not like that. But yeah, that's the most recent one. And that's probably the craziest one. I don't know. I don't have.
Wasn't there an old pistol that if it dropped on the ground it would go off? What, I don't remember which one, but if you dropped your pistol it would just go off. The firing pin will just snap out of it.
Oh my god! Russian roulette every time you go somewhere.
If you drop your pistol, right?
Yeah.
But there has been problems with shotguns and stuff, that semi-automatics, when you snap it forward, it hits the primer and then it goes off.
Yeah.
But that's one of the number one keys to gun safety. Always point it in the right direction.
Yep.
Because of that reason, if that happens.
Yep.
We got Dick Cheney over here in Kansas.
That's,
shooting each other in the ass,
that's the cliche right there.
Yeah.
That's the joke. Like, you give the safety speech, there's always that one guy like, yeah, no one's gonna Dick Cheney me today, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, heard that one 1,000 times.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Heard that one yesterday.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not laughing.
Exactly.
No. Anyway, no, I think of it like, talking about crazy stories like that. I think of it like, well, talking about being in the business and thing, like, you just got to put on your costume in the morning, like put on your uniform and just roll with it. Like, somebody says something like that, you just
whatever
laugh.
happens.
You're not being fake, but you got to remember you're providing a service and entertainment, and
you're in the entertainment business.
Yeah, so you just roll with it.
And it's the great thing about it is, especially going back to the whole guide life thing, is when you're a guide, I mean, you get to bust balls with the rest of them. You get to hang out with the guy. It's like deer camp every day of your life, but with that, you lose out on a lot of your time of being out in the woods. So you don't get a lot of time to upland hunt. You don't get a lot of time to turkey hunt. You don't get a lot of time to deer hunt. You don't get a lot of time to spend with your family, because you're putting that service out there for everybody else.
Yeah.
You are the ringleader of all of that every single day.
Yeah. There's so much I could speak on that, is like going back to the Instagram and like, oh man, so I've got a buddy, he farms and ranches, and he's like, I can't believe you just let people hunt. I would have all that locked down. I'd be hunting all the time. Like, and I'm like, dude, I have to run an outfitter in order to farm. Like, you can't be 28 and make it farming starting out unless you inherit it or do whatever. So there's that token. And then I got some buddies like going to Instagram, oh, you must hunt all the time. Or, I don't let my guides, and most of them don't anyway, but I don't carry a gun guiding anything. Waterfowl, upland bird, obviously not deer, but anything. And I get, like, talking about weeding out your guides, I'll get guys message me like, hey, man, looking for a guide? Yeah, actually I am. Do you guys get to, next question, do you guys get to carry a gun? Nope. You're on the, nope. Like,
not happening.
Not happening.
It's not here for you,
so
it's for them.
Yeah, but, so people are like, it'd be like owning a steakhouse and eating your steak, like, every night. Like, you're not going to sell it if you're sitting there eating it. But yeah, people think you hunt all the time and you don't. And then you tack on the work side of things too, go down that rabbit hole. But on the flip side of things, we were talking with the ladies upstairs. They have this booth next to us, and I said but I've chosen my hard, my level of hard. This lady was talking about how she was working in a cubicle and how she loves going to these trade shows now. She mostly does it for fun because she's retired and she used to be in sales, and she likes going to these trade shows because she gets to interact with people and things. And when she was working in a cubicle, didn't like that. And I said, I've chosen my level of hard when I was, giving my sob story and bitching about, everything else. But I'm willing to tolerate that level of hard. There are some days when I come in, you're at a trade show, it's work, and it's like, somebody's like, man, looks like you're having a good time. It's like, because I am. Right. I've chosen my level of hard, and even if it is hard, like,
it's enjoyable.
It is enjoyable. So, like, you can say, oh, bummer, you don't get to hunt all the time, but it's like, you know what, I am outside all the time. You know what, like, it's Sunday, and it's a work-related trip,
right.
Or it's Tuesday, and you don't have anybody around, and it's like, I'm gonna go. I am gonna go out like
You
for
are-
20 minutes.
yeah.
Like I don't have to book a hunt or go hunt public or do whatever. Like not dogging the public. I'm just saying what I'm getting at is it's what you're willing to tolerate, to make you happy.
Absolutely. And,
So-
but going back on the kid that shoots his first pheasant or whatever, you get to enjoy somebody's first every single day that you're out in the woods, or you get to experience you get to bring somebody into the outdoors that may not have had to, that smile on their face, that, that passion, that love. You are the first one to instill that in people.
Oh, yeah.
When they shoot their first big buck or their
Yeah.
first Rio or whatever the
And
case
that's what
may
my
be.
dad wants me to write a book on that. And it's like I'll get to that after my funny story to launch the book writing career. But no, 100%. Like going back to turkey hunting, that's why I love guiding turkey hunting, because they just get yacked. I mean, and it's just man, it's awesome.
Well, that's adrenaline.
Because you're in it with them. You're just as much a part of the hunt. Upland bird hunting, birds flying by and people missing them, and you're just kind of like you're not in it like you are when you're sitting back to back on a tree, even though you're not carrying a gun. Like that just gets like you said, I agree 100%. You live vicariously through your guests that come through. Like, and the same thing, talking about our deer hunters we had last year, man, like you're just in it with them,
But you have that passion for it. There's a lot of people that don't have that. They have a jealousy factor with them, and you can't have that when you're guiding. Dude, you shot the biggest deer. You're probably more excited for them because they don't really understand at that point until after. You know what I'm saying? And it's an amazing thing. It really is.
And going back to guests, we have guests, not clients. I see it all the time. Like, need 4 clients for Friday or whatever. It's like I want guests. I want family, because that is to a guest. To your point, like if you're a client, not a guest, but if you're a client, you are just a number, and it's like, man, I'm glad you shot that deer so I can get paid and go, whatever.
I can move on.
Yeah, I can go do the next thing. And it's like, if you're a guest or if you're family, of course you're gonna be yacked when pumped up when somebody shoots whatever.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Well, Brady, I got one last question, man, before we wrap this bad boy up. Is what drives you outdoors, man?
Man, I don't know. I got to give a shout out to Rod Roach. This guy, I always answer these questions with long-winded stories. This is how
it's
I am.
all right.
But there's a gentleman that was here at this show.
It is a talk show.
Yeah,
so.
I know. There's a gentleman that came to this show, drove up from St. Joe, Missouri, and obviously my dad. Give my dad a shout out, because he got me interested in hunting, did so much for me. Man, it almost makes you emotional talking about it. But this guy, Rod Roach, was at this show. Came up here, and I told him, I said, he was just like, man, we're hobnobbing with the rich folk. Give me shit, But none of what drives me to be outdoors, to be honest, I don't even know. I just know it's like in me. Like when you got it, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
And it would not have been without my dad and some of these guys taking me hunting. I wouldn't even have a hunting lodge if this guy would not have gotten up at 4 a.m. and taken me hunting. Like I said, it makes you emotional, but it's like we have not been drinking, folks. It's not like, I mean, it's just real, man. It's because I think about, talking about a ranch and, Yellowstone, tie it all back in. It's like, you don't understand how I can't even answer it, because it's just in you.
It's just a passion.
It's just there. I wake up and man, it's negative 20 outside, but it's like, I get to do this, and I don't know for how long. Maybe I don't book hunts. Maybe I have to close up shop, and there'll be the people that tell you work too hard now will tell you didn't work hard enough later. But I mean, I'm just living in it. It's all. I'm just soaking it in, because I can't even answer that question. But anyway, to those guys, that's what gets me outdoors, because I'm like, if I can do, which I do, being in a hunting lodge, if I can just put that in somebody else or help somebody else feel the way I do, like can't even answer that question, they just know, like that's what I want.
So could you imagine, and I said it was the last question, but it's totally not. Because it with the passion and everything that's in you, and you can see it in your eyes, man. Like you really live, breathe, and dream it. The family, not clients, family. It's an amazing thing. Could you imagine your life without the outdoors?
No, I couldn't. And being here in Des Moines, Iowa, and in the city here, walking back and forth to the event center, it's like, I don't know how some people live in the concrete jungle and never even touch grass, under their feet.
Especially with you. You live in the prairie where it's just flat. It's just, it's the true outdoors, man.
Yeah, it's in the sticks. Yeah.
And these people, they don't even know what the outdoors is. They don't even know what, and they kind of bash on the hunting aspect of it, but they don't understand. And like you, I couldn't imagine my life without the outdoors.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. You asked what drives me. My truck to the outdoors.
Well,
takes me there. But dad jokes. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is about the outdoors. I don't know what drives me to the outdoors. I can't imagine my life without the outdoors, and I don't want to find out what that's like, and I'm still trying to figure out what that thing is like that drives me to the outdoors. I'm still trying to find it.
I think that that's an unanswered question when we ask it, because there's so many meanings to that thing, and it's just what touches you the most. There's no wrong answer to it. And normally when I do ask that question, I say to him, what drives you outdoors other than your car? Because everybody thinks it's funny, and they'll be like, my car
Dad
or my
jokes.
e-bike, you know?
Dad
It's like,
jokes.
geez. Yeah, exactly. Well, man, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you if they want to check you out and kind of see what you got going on, or Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah, Pheasant Run Ranch, Kansas. Pheasant Run Ranch KS on Instagram, as in the abbreviation for Kansas. B Burks 66 on Instagram.
That's you personally.
Yeah, my personal Instagram. Facebook, Pheasant Run Ranch. Websites, pheasantrunranch.net, pheasantrunranch.com. Pretty much all of them will take you there. Google Pheasant Run Ranch, Kansas. It'll pop up.
And I'll link them down below,
Yeah.
so everybody can kind of find along and see what's going on.
Yep.
Well,
Appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you and what you're doing, dude. Keep on what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing, and the passion is something else, and the family and the community that you're building is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's great. I wouldn't want any other way.
And
sure.
for everybody else, man, thanks for taking the ride right here on the Outdoor Drive.